the staple of consistency within the AFC North, that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. 17 years under Mike Tomlin, never a losing record, never less than 8 wins.
You add Patrick Queen there over from your division rival. You take a look at that offensive line, which does have some question marks, but still a decent wide receiving core that they have, a running game that has Najee Harris, and a quarterback that's been there, done that.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup, what you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
He talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercano, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
Your mustache is falling.
Dash is falling off. It's got to go. Ski's got another strikeout there. I don't want to take it. As soon as I take it off, they're going to give up a run. I'm trying to keep it on until he comes out of the game. It's all over the place. Come on. I'm superstitious.
He's got 10 Ks.
He's cruising. Wow.
They pulled Skeens, by the way.
Yeah, they pulled him. Yeah.
Okay. Do that.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Let's roll. This is SportsRage. We're in level 2. McKinn's going to hang around just for a couple more moments. We were talking about the CFL. Let's do a quick check here as far as the TBT basketball. Good volleyball talk as far as the Olympics were concerned. We could recap it a little bit after. And as far as the TBT is concerned, let's get you the final scores for these games, as both these games are done right now. All right, so the final score, dear God, Forever Cougs came back and beat Challenge ALS. That sucks. I was on Challenge ALS, but I did hit the over of the game, and we didn't have any problems with La Familia and Heard That. The game goes over the number, and Heard That gets smashed, 95-66 final score. I'll tell you what, from what I've watched of this tournament, this La Familia team, these guys are like real, man. Like, they don't play around. They get the ball, they push it up the court. They don't take, like, they're very, like, they don't pass it around much. Like, one guy will get it, and they'll just do the old take it off and, like, lay it up. Like, they're very athletic, yet they play as a team at the same point in time. 95 points is not easy to do in a TBT in the format that they have in 9-minute quarters and a target score, putting up 100 nearly. So keep your eye on La Familia moving forward. So, hey, we'll take it. We go 3-1 with the nightcap of the TBT. Dodgers have a runner on first base right now. We're in the bottom of the third inning. It's 2-1. There's 2 out. Jordan Hicks is up to 58 pitches. Okay, so CFL football, McKenna says, I like what you said, McKenna. You can buy a house betting against the Elks right now. They were covering numbers earlier. They're getting worse as it goes on right now. And you could argue that they're due, but the Ticats don't suck. They just sort of, they take too many penalties, you know what I mean? They just sort of make little mistakes here and there. Bo Levi Mitchell will miss a pass here and there. Like, they just weren't making enough plays, but that was a nice win for them on Saturday. And I really don't see why they don't keep it going right now. They got Tim White involved in the offense now. You see the Ticats are not a bad football team. And the Edmonton Elks, like I said, like, if they win, God bless them, but it's like almost impossible to trust them right now unless you're getting like 12 points or something.
Well, you know, here's one thing I will say, guys. When they were up 17-0, the Ticats over the weekend, nobody in that stadium even looked like relieved. Nobody even looked relaxed. It almost you would have thought they were up by a field goal. And the reason is, Gabe, you're right. They got the offense going, but the thing is, it was a fumble recovery. It was a pick six. It was a kickoff return. After the second quarter, what did they have? 2 field goals kicked that weren't off turnovers. And so you can look at it and say it's great, but at the same time, Bo Levi did look better, but I would say about 20 of their points were off, mistakes that the other team made. And the thing is, when you look at so I mean, and this is the thing, Cam, you were saying to me at the break about, how could I take an under in between those two teams? I don't know how I could, besides the fact that it's 53.5. That's the only thing I can really say. I had the over in the BC Calgary game. I thought I got screwed. Live total was like 60 at one point, but all it takes is for a few dead drives to result in punts or a single, and you're screwed a little bit. But I'll tell you, one under I really like, guys, this week is the under in the Winnipeg-Toronto game. Speaking of those very Argos, if we want to stick to trends, talk about Calgary being 5-1 ATS, talking about Montreal, some of these teams. Well, Winnipeg, they're 1-6 as far as over and under is concerned. 6 unders, only 1 over for them on the season. And their game that did go over, same thing I just said. It had a lot of weird plays, balls thrown off helmets, pick sixes. To me, the Argos are the king of checkdowns. Cameron Dukes throws one ball farther than 9 yards, maybe twice every game. The guy just throws 5 yards every pass and lets the guys do the work when they catch it. And right now, Zach Collaros, he can't throw farther than a shadow. He is not the same Collaros that he once was. That number as the total, guys, is representing the old Bombers, not the new Bombers.
I like where you go with that. McKinnis, the quarterback critic, calling everybody out in the CFL.
Exactly.
Right now. The quarterback. Hey, Tommy, if we can, speaking of quarterbacks, can we get Joe Burrow? Let's do a best of X before we get McKinnis out of here. As Joe Burrow is ready for a new season and decided to get a new look. Joe Burrow clearly went to the barber and said, "Give me the Cody Rhodes, please."
Like Cody Rhodes. Oh my God!
Like seriously, look at this. Like if I'm Cody Rhodes, I'm almost creeped out. I'm like, man, this guy is a grown man. He kind of looks like me a lot. Like, what are you doing?
You're right. I'm with you, Morency. That is creepy. That's creepy.
If somebody told me that was Cody Rhodes, I'd believe them.
Oh, I agree.
I'd be like, hey, he's lost a little weight. Doesn't look as ripped as he normally does. But yeah, I guess.
It's
like
shocking.
all he's missing is a neck tat. You know who Cody Rhodes is, McKinnis? Come on. He's the world wrestling champion, baby. Come on.
Yeah, I know who he is. You know who he reminded me of, except for he's in better shape? Jonah Hill from 21 Jump Street when they tried to look like they were younger and they went to hie school. He dyed his hair, and all of a sudden he's trying to get this new look. Who the hell is that guy? Come on, man. Come on, Joe.
Jonah Hill from 21 Jump Street.
Come on, Joe. Come on, Joe.
Every time I think of Jonah Hill,
let's just be real. That blonde look isn't good on anybody. It just doesn't look. For Cody Rhodes.
Over under for that haircut, 13 and a half years old. You're older than that, and you get that lid, you got problems. Like, be a man and keep
you're right. This is like a 14-year-old Eminem fan. Like, it's not a grown man quarterback look here.
Exactly. Like, come on, man. Get a grip. That's weak.
But guys, I thought he didn't like attention. He always said he doesn't like attention. Come on now.
Well, no, he just walked the catwalk in Paris at a fashion show. So evidently, like you don't walk a catwalk in Paris if you don't like attention.
Bingo.
Still a good quarterback.
That's contradictive.
Yeah, very, very good. It's like NFL attention.
Well, you know what? I'm going to start a controversy. Joe Burrow's gone Hollywood. He's sold out. He's gone Hollywood. He's got a big ego.
I'll agree with you.
Yeah.
That's no. Grown men shouldn't get hair like that, though. I'm with. That's a kid's lid. That's just. I'm not down.
I'm willing to bet this look doesn't last very long. He's going to realize, you know what? It's a little too Cody Rhodes-ish.
Yeah, for sure.
I wonder if I came back with that hair color next week, am I invited on SportsGrid late night again? I don't know if I'd be just a laughing.
I'd like to see it. I challenge you to do it. I'd love to see it.
We love your volleyball and CFL picks. You're welcome anytime. It's just don't do it, McKinnis. But if you want to, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be great. No. Actually, we encourage you to do it. That's what Babano should do on his hairspray lid.
Yes,
Just get it all like.
Babano. What hair? Yes.
Babano, like Cody, Joe Burrow said, give me the Cody Rhodes. When Babano goes to the barber, he brings a picture of Kerry Fraser.
Great.
He goes, this is the look that I like to replicate.
Yep. 2 minutes for looking so good. Grecian formula. I saw Babano at the Ticats game. His
some
hairline
people
is
like
flawless. It's perfect.
Yeah, like some people, they want to look like, you know what I mean? They give me like Travis Kelce's hip because they didn't like, you know what I mean? Gets the haircut with the shave and on top and stuff. So kids are like, yeah, give me the Travis Kelce. Babano rolls up, Cam, with like an old NHL book of NHL referees.
Yeah.
He's like, this is the look I'm going for.
Kerry Fraser, extra spray.
I want to look like an NHL referee. They're like, all right, guys. They can tell you, like, I'm sure they're like, we can put some blonde highlights. We can kind of save you, do something. No. Just Brill cream it back, and I want to look like an NHL referee.
It was hot in Hamilton that night, and Babano's hair, his lid was dripping grease like the whole time. He's just sucked. He goes, I got water. It's like straight vodka. I go,
it's like Rudy Giuliani. He's leaking the black stuff.
He's leaking. Yeah, he was leaking hard, man. That's the best mascara.
God bless Babano.
I love Babano. Great lid. Yeah, excellent hair.
All right, great stuff, McKinnis. Thanks for joining us. The Olympics will be in full swing next week. Get some more picks ready.
Pleasure.
All right, guys. Best of luck. Take care.
You too, buddy.
The staple of consistency within the AFC North, that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. 17 years under Mike Tomlin, never a losing record, never less than 8 wins.
You add Patrick Queen there over from your division rival. You take a look at that offensive line, which does have some question marks, but still a decent wide receiving core that they have, a running game that has Najee Harris, and a quarterback that's been there, done that.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup, what you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
He talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercano, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
Your mustache is falling.
Dash is falling off. It's got to go. Ski's got another strikeout that I don't want to take. As soon as I take it off, they're going to give up a run. I'm trying to keep it on until he comes out of the game. It's all over the place. Come on. I'm superstitious.
He's got 10. He's got 10 Ks.
He's cruising. Wow.
They pulled Skeens, by the way.
Yeah, they pulled him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency. Thanks to Andrew McKinnis for joining us. That was great stuff. McKinnis was howling on the way out at Babano's expense. Poor Babano. We'll have to bring this up with Babano tomorrow, so it wasn't like we were talking behind Babano's back. But I always tell Babano that he looks like Kerry Fraser, and he's got a head like a hockey helmet. Like Babano's got like the slick back hockey helmet, thick brill cream type of like he could take a puck, it would bounce off his head.
I've never seen
really,
a guy
really would.
with a hairline like that, too. Like, it's totally flat. Like, he's never going to go bald. If, like, even in 70 or 80, like, that guy's lid, it's just, you're right, it's like Teflon.
No, it's true. He'll have the old. His hair will just be white. He'll be like those old drunk guys in a tavern. You see the white, like the strands of hair, white back. You know what I mean? All the way through.
Drunk guys at the tavern.
And it just and it highlights the drunk face too, because the hair's white and their face all red.
I got drunk face. I know.
Yeah, that's Babano's future. He's gonna be one of those dudes. Like in a bar in the morning, like having a beer with the tomato juice. You see those guys, like they have the beer with a little tomato juice and like soften it up the first drink in the morning.
Game, but Babano's been drinking a lot more recently too. I've been witness to it, but we'll discuss it tomorrow.
Yeah, you don't want to take pedal. I thought you were going to admit, oh yeah, I put tomato juice in beer in the morning before.
Oh, I've done it. I've done it. It's a good way to get back on the treadmill, Gabe. That's what you do. Yeah, it's the old red eye. It's called the red eye.
Yeah. 2-1 right now for the Dodgers. San Francisco, I'm telling you, there's always guys on base with 2 out in this baseball game, and it looks like the Dodgers are getting out of it. Let's get sports strong with Dave Delano. All right, now Dave Delano in the house with us. Dave, good to see you. Dodgers just got out of this this inning. We're mid-4 right now. Chavez Ravine. Any action for you on this game tonight?
No action for me on this one. I'm still I'm taking a look at it as like you guys are to see if there's going to be any live betting opportunities, but don't have any action on this one. I do have action. Action I do have tonight. I'm looking for the over in this at over 8.5. Went up to 9 in the Houston and Oakland game, and right now 6-1 in the 6. So I'm looking for a couple more runs in that one.
Oakland, how about that game? 6-1 Oakland, not Houston, but Oakland.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, Gabe. Ever since you accidentally bet on Oakland, they haven't lost. What is this going to be like? Like they haven't lost, right?
Maybe that was the turning of the tide. Me betting on them accidentally changed like the direction of their team.
It's true. It's true.
No, but listen, Houston had been playing good baseball, and look, they took 2 or 3 from the Mariners. They took the first place lead, and now they go into Oaktown. But as I stated, guys, Oakland could be scrappy for the rest of the season, especially at home. They're going to want to play for even if there's not a lot of fans there, they're going to be fired up on the way out. It's the last year there. And also, it's tricky for teams to play in an empty stadium. It lulls them to, like, in a weird comfort. And Dave Delano's back with us right now. Dave, I used to cover the Expos in their final seasons, all right? And I used to talk. I was the post-game show, so I spoke to, like, players all the time. I used to just hang out at the batting cage, talk to people all day. Like, I had nothing better to do, and I was broke, and I liked the free food at the park, too, so I would show up as soon as the gates opened, Cam. Like, the media would be allowed at, like, 3. I was there at 3, 2:30.
Montreal's good food, too, Gabe.
Yeah, I'd go right to the press box, and I'd get some cheese and crackers right away and sort of settle in, right? Yeah. But I used to talk to players that always tell me, they're like, man, when it's quiet in the stadium and there's not the screaming and it's not the same type of atmosphere, you sort of get lulled into a false sense of security. You're not as, like, alert. And you see this in these empty stadiums. You know, people always think, oh, there's a lot of people, like, it's going to be daunting for the other team. A lot of stadiums sell out, and the home team loses all the time. Oakland's kind of a tricky place for teams to play, actually, Dave, in a weird psychology type of way. You know, players, they can't get up for it, bro. The A's suck. The stadium sucks. They're leaving. You can't go shopping. Like, you know what I mean? They're scared of getting robbed. Everybody just stays in the hotel in San Francisco. They get in and out of there. They're not going to get up for the games in Oakland. Just point blank, Dave and Kim.
Hey, but Gabe, if they win tonight, that's 5 out of 6. They took 2 out of 3 from the Phillies. Like, this team is making you money. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, the Oakland A's are, like, recently.
Leaving it on the table. The only time I bet on it was an accident.
Yeah, well, at least you won. Like, you didn't remember it was the time that they lost that night? They're on fire. You're right. We've left it on the table. It's too late.
I bet on the A's accidentally last week, Dave. I was on the air, and I'm like, I tried to bet on the Dodgers, and I didn't realize I clicked. And, like, 10 minutes later, I look. I'm like, oh, my God, I bet on the Oakland Athletics instead of the Dodgers. And the A's were losing 1-0, and I was like, son of a bitch, I'm an idiot. And they ended up winning the game 12-3, and they've been hot ever since.
Yep.
So, what do you think about the A's? Have you had the balls to bet on them at all?
Yeah, I actually bet on the A's yesterday against the Astros, so that was a good one. And I've been taking their team totals quite a bit. Even that last game that they lost to the Angels, they blew it late, but a lot of these team totals have been around 4.5, and I think the A's have scored at least 5 runs. I think it's like 8 out of their last 9 games or something like that now. They've really been on a tear offensively. So I have been noticing the A's. The bookmakers haven't quite caught up to them. And for what it's worth, just a little side comment. You mentioned Oakland. It's always been like on my bucket list to go to a game there. Never done that, and I've actually just set up a trip in September. I'm going to go out there, catch a couple games.
Awesome.
To see it. I've always wanted to see that stadium.
One of those weird, yeah, I like that. It's just a random, the one thing that always bothered me, and I never got a chance to do it, I always wanted to go to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii. Just a random degenerate game, or like a Hawaii bailout special game. The classic Saturday night bailout special, but actually be in the stands, but in the old cool stadium and stuff. Now it's on campus, it's smaller and all that. It's a little bit different, but I got a few bucket list things. Not too many. The Rose Bowl, Michigan and the Rose Bowl was one of them, but that's awesome stuff. I was thinking about it too. This is the last year, Dave, they're going to have Oakland Athletic jerseys. It's going to be Sacramento or Vegas now. Like, if you like that classic Oakland, guys, order a jersey now because they're not going to have them anymore, or they'll be classics.
Classy. The elephant. Nice. Respect Oakland.
When it comes to betting on sports, injuries matter, and Sports Injury Central has you covered all year long with expert injury analysis and injury-based picks for the NFL, NBA, and MLB. Our former pro sports doctors have unmatched experience to analyze every injury so you know the impact of the player, team, and their upcoming matchup. Whether it's articles, podcasts, player insights, or our patented injury scores, Sports Injury Central will help you keep up with your fantasy team and make more informed wagers. So make sure you follow Sports Injury Central and gain an edge at SixScore.com.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern.
All right, we're to the bottom of the fourth inning right now at Dodger Stadium. Dodgers up 2-1. Dodgers have a runner on first base. Hicks is still on the mound right now. He's up to 83 pitches. I saw he was at 6 strikeouts. Let me just check in and see. Our boy Dave Delano needs some runs and said he wants the over here in Oakland and Houston. Oakland just put another run up on the board. They're leading 7-1 right now going into the top of the 7th inning. Seattle unable to take advantage of this. Like last night, Houston loses. Seattle loses to the Angels. Tonight, they're losing again. and Seattle are getting messed up right now. 5-1 for the Angels right now in this game, and they're in the top of the 8th inning. And we've got Dave Delano with us. Let me get the strikeout props here for people. So Hicks went over his number. Hicks' strikeout prop tonight was 3.5. He's got 6 strikeouts. And I took Landon Knack over 4.5 strikeouts, and he's got 4 right now, the bottom of the 4th. So just give me one more strikeout for Landon Knack, who I thought was being slept on a little bit. He pitched against the Giants on June 28th, and like I said, he had 7 strikeouts in that game, and it was one of his better outings against this San Francisco team. And Dave, we were talking about it earlier. Giants are struggling offensively right now. 0 for 7 last night with runners in scoring position. It's been a problem for them. The season's starting to get away from the Giants right now.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like they're probably, especially coming up on this trade deadline, it'll be interesting to see what they do. The bullpen struggled throughout the season. They started getting a little bit better there for a while. It seemed like they make a little bit of a run, but looks like they're going to be most likely sellers. And for your Dodgers, this seems like the time of the year where they need to start winning, and they put themselves in position to be at least the National League favorite. We'll see how it goes once the playoffs come around. But Dodgers undefeated so far since the All-Star break.
I'll tell you what, they're starting to – it's only been 4 games, right? But as you stated, they come out of the All-Star break. They get this sweep over the Boston Red Sox. Now you get the Giants rolling in. And Clayton Glasnow's back tomorrow. Clayton Kershaw's back on Thursday. Walker Buehler's rounding into form. He's close to coming back. Mookie Betts is on the field tonight working out. Yamamoto is strong enough to be throwing 200 feet right now from center field. Everything, like, it's all building up right now towards the playoffs, right? You know, all these games don't mean anything for the Dodgers, but what's your gut tell you, Dave? Dodgers or Phillies? If they went head-to-head, who would you take in a 7-game series?
I would take the Phillies. I would take the Phillies right now.
Right.
Still,
cut his mic. All right, let's move on. Sorry, go on. But that's what I was going to say. Everyone's buying into the Phillies right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I've been on the Phillies for a while. Even that year that they went to the World Series against the Astros, I took them to go to the World Series. That year was a pretty good ticket for me. The Dodgers still, in some of these tight games, you see it every now and then. I mean, you kind of saw it in that series against the Tigers before the All-Star break. There's still some weird times with the bullpen where sometimes Roberts, when guys are struggling, leaves guys out there just a little bit too long. I mean, I know I'm nitpicking a little bit, but those are the things that when you get to a series against a team like the Phillies, you know, the top teams in baseball, that I think might come back to bite the Dodgers. I mean, they're a great team, but right now I would still lean on the Phillies in a 7-game series.
You know what it is too, guys?
Cam?
All those pitchers coming back, Gabe, think about this. They're going to have so many guys in the rotation. You could put a quality arm in the back end, right? Double D? That's what they're going to do. So they have all these guys coming back, Gabe, and I know people are going, go out and get a setup man or a closer, you know, to solidify things because it's World Series or bust. They're having all these guys return, and some of these guys are going to be put in those positions, important positions for them, Gabe. It's like they're actually adding guys at the trade deadline there because they're coming back from injury. They're a hell of a lot deeper than people think. Look, you know?
I'm not a massive fan of starters in the bullpen either in the playoffs, but the fact of the matter is this is modern baseball right now, right? And most teams just say, you know what? It's the analytics of it. They decide we're going to die with our best pitcher, even though he's not used to coming into the game in the 7th inning or whatnot. It's too bad Ohtani can't go. That would really be the secret weapon. If you had Ohtani just sort of mixing in an inning here, an inning there or two. But listen, I agree with Dave in the sense that the Phillies are a super dangerous team. They've been knocking on the door for a couple of years now, and they're there. But I wonder what the Phillies, and last year, guys, I thought this, and I said it at the time. If you guys remember, last year the Phillies got super hot. They made it to the World Series, remember, a couple of years ago? Last year they got super hot again. They peaked too early. So do the Eagles. It's like a Philly thing. Their teams always look great, and then it gets real, and they're not.
the staple of consistency within the AFC North, that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. 17 years under Mike Tomlin, never a losing record, never less than 8 wins.
You add Patrick Queen there over from your division rival. You take a look at that offensive line, which does have some question marks, but still a decent wide receiving core that they have, a running game that has Najee Harris, and a quarterback that's been there, done that.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup, what you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
He talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercano, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
Your mustache is falling.
Dash is falling off. It's got to go. Skeen's got another strikeout that I don't want to take. As soon as I take it off, they're going to give up a run. I'm trying to keep it on until he comes out of the game. It's all over the place. Come on. I'm superstitious.
He's got 10. He's got 10 Ks.
He's cruising. Well,
They pulled Skeens, by the way.
yeah, they pulled him. Yeah,
Okay. Do that.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Dodgers have now taken a 4-1 lead over the San Francisco Giants. So Dodgers rolling at Chavez Ravine. Our boy Dave Delano in the house with us right now. And countdown to the Olympics. We have men's soccer starting in the morning. Rugby sevens is in the Olympics.
Ooh.
It has been for like 3 or 4 games or whatnot. But rugby sevens is fast to begin with, as we all know. It's 7-on-7. The games are very quick. Teams will play multiple games in a day in these tournaments we see, and it's a lot of fun. So it's very rapid fire, like the men's rugby 7. So like I tweeted out earlier, Olympic betting guide. Men's soccer for you future bettors. Now, they'll be on as the tournament go on, but in some of the events there won't be, right? You got to get it in before it starts because, the way the scoring system works. But soccer starts in the morning, guys, men's soccer, and men's rugby sevens starts tomorrow as well. We'll have some picks for you a little bit later on. Basketball starts on Saturday, and I'm seeing right now we've got some odds boost ups and some different props up, and we got a big-time game with the USA taking on Serbia on Sunday morning. Nikola Jokic takes on the U.S. team in the first game of the tournament for both teams. Dave, what were your thoughts on the U.S.'s exhibition campaign? The close call against South Sudan, close call against Germany. 2 ways of looking at it. Glass half full, glass half empty. Glass half full is, hey, these are just exhibition games, and they're going to be able to dial it up a notch. Or you could say, you know what? There's some giant-ass red flags going on here, man, when you're 42-point favorites against South Sudan and you win by 1. And Germany are good, but you basically had a hard time beating the Wagner brothers and Dennis Schroeder. Where are you standing right now with the U.S. Olympic team?
Well, chemistry gets underrated a lot in basketball, even though the U.S. is still the most talented team. But, you don't necessarily have that chemistry. And then also, when you're a 43-point favorite, there were so many jokes going on about South Sudan on different platforms. You still have to respect your opponent because all of these guys are still really good basketball players. They've got great chemistry. And then also, even though we have the best players on the U.S., the world is getting better, a lot better. I saw something today they were stating with the original Dream Team with Jordan and Larry Bird. They faced 9 NBA players throughout that Olympics, and this team is going to face at least 61 NBA players on other teams. So the rest of the world is still getting a lot better. And I'm actually glad to see some competitive games. Not to get ahead, but I'm a little surprised. I see U.S. is 14.5-point favorite against Serbia. A couple weeks ago, it was 12.5. So despite those close calls, they're becoming a little bit of a bigger favorite. But you never know. Those games like Serbia, Canada, those will probably be the games on the U.S.'s radar where we may see the best of the U.S. and some of those other, lesser or considered lesser opponents might be the dangerous ones that sneak up on them.
Cam, you trust, what do you think of the U.S.? Are they going to dial it up a notch now that it matters? Or even if they do, hey, listen, Serbia can play basketball, right? And they also have Nikolai Jokic running things. 14.5, who you taking? You going to lay the points or take the points?
I'll take the points. I got to be honest with you. That's shocking to me, guys. When you're playing that poor against South Sudan and Germany and LeBron basically saves your ass, why would the spread go up? I almost feel that's crazy. Like it should go either than down. So these guys, the books obviously think, fellas, that the U.S. is just kind of, playing possum or, not playing at their best right now.
They didn't adjust anything from any of these exhibition games. Like a great example, South Sudan, you figure South Sudan will get some love. South Sudan guys were, because I know, I've been looking at these numbers for weeks. South Sudan were plus 3.5-point underdogs against Puerto Rico. They're playing on Sunday. South Sudan nearly beats the United States, Dave. They're still 3.5-point underdogs against Puerto Rico. Nothing moved at all, which that I find a little bit surprising. And to be honest with you, I don't know if I'm walking into a trap right now. I think that's what the books are thinking. All right, guys, I'll take South Sudan now because they nearly beat the U.S. and watch them get smoked by Puerto Rico. But I don't think so. I think they can play with Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico are okay. South Sudan are very athletic. They've got, dudes that can shoot on that team. So they're getting 3.5. But, Dave, I'm with Cam. If I lose, I lose. But I'm going to take the 14.5 with Jokic and company.
Yeah, I agree. I actually liked it at 12.5, but I like it at 14.5 as well. I mean, that's a lot of points. I mean, these teams are still going to be, they're going to give the U.S. their best effort. And also, I mean, is the U.S. looking for – there's really no benefit of getting the style points. We also have Kevin Durant hasn't played yet. They said that they're going to keep him on the team. So at some point you think they're going to fill Durant in there. That's going to cause more chemistry issues early on. And not saying that the U.S. won't win, but when you start talking about having to win by 15 points or more, I'm not comfortable with that against a team like Serbia. I would take the points as well.
Canada are laying 6.5 points to Greece. But the point spread has gone up to 7. Greece are good, not great. They do have Giannis, though. And if there's one sort of weakness that Canada has, and Canada is the only other team besides the United States that every player is in the NBA. To put in context. So, when Dave said, USA could play 61 Olympians, Canada, they're all NBA players in the Olympics. So Canada are loaded as well. And a lot of hype about Canada, and I didn't want to get caught up in it a bit. At times, I think people have been too nice to the Canadian basketball team. And now, to be honest, though, I kind of feel the hype is justified, to be real. If you look at what they did in the tune-up games here, preparing for the Olympics, they played well against the U.S. in the first half. They basically sat SGA down in the second half. They put in the back end of the bench against the USA. They dialed it up a notch against France. They played against France in France. They beat Wembanyama. They held Wembanyama, and they tried France. They held Wembanyama to 10 points. They were just drilling Puerto Rico the other night. They took the pedal off the metal and had an easy win. I do, Dave, believe that Canada will be the team to make the gold medal against the United States. And Canada to make the gold medal and Canada to be the runner-up is plus 500, guys. They're 11-1 to win the tournament, but they're plus 500 to be runner-up. What do you think, Dave? There's some good basketball teams here, man. Australia are good. France are good. USA, obviously, are devastatingly good. Giannis is on Greece, and Canada are really good. How do you think it's going to play out as far as 1, 2, 3, if you had to say?
Now, I'm going to have to go look at that first group and kind of see how I think that'll play out because I want to see where's Australia at as well as far as, when they can kind of line up and play, I think that could also be a dangerous. One thing with Canada that worries me, and I know it's another thing that makes them so dangerous with all that NBA talent and also being, basically another NBA team. But when you look at the style of play, that is a style of play that the U.S. is familiar with. Where some of these other teams, they play a different style of basketball that
it's a great call.
Works better for the Olympics than maybe Canada or even
It's
the
funny
US.
you say that, Dave, because these other teams, Canada played the U.S. in Vegas, and even though they took the pedal off the metal, they still lost by 14. Let's call it out for what it is. Yeah, like you said, Australia gave the U.S. all that they could handle. Germany gave the U.S. all that they could handle. South Sudan gave, and you'll notice Canada cruised against France. I was like, oh, this is going to be tough. No, they beat France easily. They beat Puerto Rico. You're bang on, Dave. It seems to me that's why I'm starting to buy into Canada. I'm like, you know what? I think Canada is going to be able to beat everybody except the U.S. because they're all NBA players. It's just like NBA versus NBA.
Great point, Gabe. And too, in the international game, these guys are playing together forever. It doesn't matter if you're pros. That's the whole thing about basketball. You're still, guys a little bit.
But that's one thing about Canada. They do have good chemistry for an international team. They've had the same core guys playing together for the last 2-3 years.
Yeah, that's true. Those other
they
teams,
built
that's why
on
they show
that.
up.
They wanted. That's why Kelly Olynyk is playing. It's like, no, you know what? These are the guys that we got here with, and this is like we're going to stick to the unit type thing, except for Jamal Murray.
The staple of consistency within the AFC North, that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. 17 years under Mike Tomlin, never a losing record, never less than 8 wins.
You add Patrick Queen there over from your division rival. You take a look at that offensive line, which does have some question marks, but still a decent wide receiving core that they have, a running game that has Najee Harris, and a quarterback that's been there, done that.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup, what you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
We talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercano, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
Your mustache is falling.
Dash is falling off. It's got to go. Skeen's got another strikeout that I don't want to take. As soon as I take it off, they're going to give up a run. I'm trying to keep it on until he comes out of the game. It's all over the place. Come on. I'm superstitious.
He's got 10. He's got 10 Ks.
He's cruising. Wow.
They pulled Skeens, by the way.
Yeah, they pulled him.
Okay. Yeah.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
This is SportsRage. I'm Morency, the pits, the players, the hustlers, the people who bust them, and everybody else in between. We showed you, I don't know if Delano was seeing Joe Burrow's new look. We had some fun with that earlier. Joe Burrow has gone full Cody Rhodes, and he actually really should play his music too. Somebody told me on Twitter today that the Bengals should play like Cody Rhodes' entrance music and stuff at games. They should probably hop on that. They should probably hop on that bandwagon. There was so many great things on Twitter today, as far as the best of X is concerned. But I like this one. This is more lighthearted, but let's go with the college football duck guy here, if we can, Tommy. Is the Oregon Big Ten Media Day in Indianapolis, and the Oregon Ducks now, of course, are in the Big Ten, and they let their presence known here. This is great stuff. Oregon put a massive inflatable duck in the White River in downtown Indy for the Big Ten Media Days. See, Dave, that's how you make a splash here, literally and figuratively. And I feel bad. I don't like it because I'm a diehard Michigan guy, and I've always actually liked the Ducks. So I don't like the fact that I can't like them anymore. We're playing on November. We're playing in November. I think it's November the 2nd. So you know what? Sorry to the Ducks, but screw you. Go blue. But I like your duck. I like that mascot. That's a nice look, Dave.
Yeah, it's still weird. I know it's happening, but just thinking of Oregon and the Big Ten, along with Washington, USC. That it's just still weird now. I mean, I guess it's finally here. Been hearing about it for a long time, but just even seeing the duck in Indianapolis, it's just.
Yeah. There ain't no water in Iowa. They're going to learn quick that they're not in a water conference anymore.
Exactly. Snow, wind, and sleet. Yeah, I'm surprised no one stole the duck. It'd be great for a pool game, just sitting out there. You just grab a rope and you take him home, and the kids would like the duck. He's pretty big.
They're reasonable, civilized civilians in Indianapolis, Cam. If this is the state of Ohio, people would be trying to have sex with that duck.
Hey.
Is he real?
No,
sorry. We got Delano's here.
Oh, yeah. Cut his mic.
Sorry, it's a Michigan Ohio State.
That's the best.
We'll plug in the state of Florida, all right? We'll plug in the state of Florida.
Trying to have sex with the duck when they're from Ohio. It's amazing. Hey. Way to go, Dave.
Sorry. I can't wait for college football, though. I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you that. Have you got some you getting some research done, Dave? You got some futures ready? College football win totals?
I haven't got any futures yet for the college football, but I'm gonna start probably tackling that the next couple of weeks. I've got some NFL futures. I was kind of knocking out first. Just got to make sure that we don't have any key players on some of these teams, get kicked off or, whatever, things that can happen in college football. So waiting just a little bit for that. But I'm going to be probably next couple weeks dialed in on that.
Yeah, it's always the fear of college football, the weeks before. To be honest with you, though, guys, I don't even think they check grades anymore. You know what I mean? Like seriously, Ken. Really look at Georgia. These kids run people over. They don't miss games. I think look. Even if I was going to say you got to kill someone, but the kid on Arkansas or whatever, or Alabama or whatever, he was involved. He got drafted. Seems like there's no rules in college football anymore, Dave. So I don't know if anyone's going to get suspended. Doesn't seem like the NCAA has any power.
The thing is, it'd be very easy to do a report too. You have a person in there just goes, these guys going to class or whatever. But they don't want to do that because they know it's such a cash cow. It's shut up, man. We know these guys aren't really passing. Just that's the whole thing. The whole institution will go down.
UCLA are also now in the Big Ten. They're traveling 26,000 miles this year.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
correct.
That's it. That's in a 13. Think about that, Dave. UCLA traveled 26,000 miles. It's by far more than any team in the NFL. It's up there, you know what I mean? With pro teams that are flying around the country in an 82-game schedule almost. The Washington Commanders travel 10,000 miles this year. So if you're a UCLA Bruin player, you're traveling 26,000 miles. You're flying around every week like a professional football team is. Getting beat up, I might add you. They're going to get lit up, and it's going to be a rough year for them. Their schedule is super hard. How the hell are they supposed to go to class? Are they supposed to study on the plane when they go to Columbus or Ann Arbor? Let's be real. I mean, I don't even see how you expect these kids to go to class anymore.
Yeah, I think so many of them now, the experience is just different. They take online classes. I mean, especially in a lot of these big programs, they do that, and you never know with that if they're even the ones logged in. Who knows? And what you were saying as far as with punishments, I saw the Oklahoma State running back who's one of the best in the country got a.
That's what I'm saying.
You see that he got arrested for the DUI, and they asked Mike Gundy like what type of punishment you're thinking about giving him. He's like, maybe I'll have him carry the ball 50 times in the opening.
That was the best. It's like, I go to the bar and have a few, take her home. Like,
Yeah,
he
Gundy.
didn't say anything.
And that was his punishment, to play him more. And he said, hey, I've done that 1,000 times. And then he dropped. He goes, I really don't see what suspending him will do, what difference that'll make. That's what I'm saying. So, like, you know what I mean? Maybe at like Michigan, there's a couple of schools where it's like if you do something, all right, you're gonna have a problem. But I hear what you're saying, though, Dave. I'm not. I can't dispute that. All right. So this baseball game is rolling on here right now. Baseball updates: 4-1 for the Dodgers. End of 5. In-game total is 8.5. Dodgers are 12-1 on the money line. 8-1 for the Oakland Athletics. Wow. Oakland Athletics just mauling the Houston Astros right now. And we got a 5-1 game in the Pacific Northwest with the Seattle Mariners. So, Dave, before we get you out of here, the Olympics are coming up. We talked about, we'll hit this on the other side with Dave, but we'll see if Dave's got any other Olympic degenerate bets. I've got a bunch that we'll share with you a little bit later on. We've been posting a ton of Olympic plays for you. It's time to start. There's no turning back. Like I said, if you're betting the Rugby 7 futures, get them in tonight. For the record, I like the French men, France, to win the men's Rugby 7s. Got to get this bet in tonight if you're playing it.
The staple of consistency within the AFC North, that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. 17 years under Mike Tomlin, never a losing record, never less than 8 wins.
You add Patrick Queen there over from your division rival. You take a look at that offensive line, which does have some question marks, but still a decent wide receiving core that they have, a running game that has Najee Harris, and a quarterback that's been there, done that.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup, what you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
We talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercano, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
Your mustache is falling.
Dash is falling off. It's got to go. Skeen's got another strikeout that I don't want to take. As soon as I take it off, you're going to give up a run. I'm trying to keep it on until he comes out of the game. It's all over the place. Come on. I'm superstitious.
He's got 10. He's got 10 Ks.
He's cruising. Wow.
They pulled Skeens, by the way.
Yeah, they pulled him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
This is SportsRage. I'm Morency, the pits, the players, the hustlers, the people that bust them, and everybody else in between. There's Clayton Kershaw in the dugout, pitching on Thursday. Dodgers are winning 4-1 right now, top of 6th inning. We'll keep our eye on this. We got Dave Delano just for a couple of more moments. So, Dave, what's your Olympic basketball betting portfolio? Or I should say, besides basketball? Because I think a lot of people, they're going to know basketball. It's NBA players. They're going to feel comfortable with it. But are you going to dip into any other sort of crazy Olympic events, or are you just going to stick to basketball?
I think that, well, I mean, I know it's still basketball, but I like the the U.S. at the 3-on-3. I'm a plus 170 if you still want to, be patriotic without laying the big number. Obviously, I mean, they're led by Jimmer Fredette, not LeBron James. So, there's a reason there's a little bit of a better odds with it, but I do like them there. I was looking at some of the track and field. I may jump into it as I'm going along, but some of the favorites, I mean, are just so big in that I'm gonna have to pick my spots. I couldn't really throw one out for you right now.
I'll tell you what, the men's, I know what you mean, but there's a reason why. Like, there's only a few people that can actually win these things when it gets to the 100 meters for the most part. Sha'Carri Richardson, she's the fastest woman in the world right now. The Jamaican girls, the Jamaican women in the women's 100 meters, they're both older. Like, this is just tailor-made. I got the bet in already, actually, at like minus 143 and was steaming up. And we talked about it last night a little bit, but the men's, he's like plus 115 right now. Keishane Thompson from Jamaica, 22 years old. He ran a 9.77 at the Jamaican Championships last month, which is super blazing fast, a 9.77. And Usain Bolt is saying that he's like probably the next Jamaican guru. Like, this is the next one type of deal. He's 22 years old. It's his first Olympics. Will he be able to handle the pressure of the Olympics and being the favorite of the 100 meters? But I think he will. I think the kid's got ice in his veins, so I actually think he'll win, Dave. Like I said, he's plus 115. The Noah Lyles from the United States is a second choice, but he's better at the 200 meters than the 100 meters. Like, he'll even tell, like, he's favored to win the 200, but he's not favored to win the 100. So I can't wait for the track and all the other stuff. But for a bettor and a sports fan, man, there's literally like thousands of betting options, Dave, over the next like month right now coming up.
Yeah. I'm definitely, like I said, I'm trying to pick my spots with it, just so I don't want to make a donation to the sports books. But I'm definitely gonna lock in with it. That track bet definitely sounds good. What did you say the odds were for Sha'Carri Richardson in the 100?
I got her at minus 143.
That's a good
price.
But
yeah, but there's been steam. Like I said, like right away when I took it, people were like, oh, you got a good number on it. But other people were like Dave saying, oh, I would never lay minus 140 in a 100 meters race. Let me get the updated number here. There's just so many ones. Here's one I didn't bet on.
I mean, it's better than the 400 hurdles where it's like minus 700 for the person that's gonna win. So I mean, that minus 140 is not bad.
I was gonna say, Cam, you have a pick for us? Sports climbing.
Yes,
basically
I do.
Like when they climb the wall.
Oh yeah. Like I was surprised they didn't put Alaskan High Kick in there. It's one of the best games that nobody knows about. It's awesome. Would be for TV, but I'll get into that later. I do have a pick. New Zealand in the women's rugby sevens. Even money. I saw minus 110, but I found a plus 100 out there, Gabe. I know it's between Australia and New Zealand, and those countries don't like each other. Where France, I know you like very much. They're the third choice with the ladies. Give me the Kiwi ladies, baby. Even money. Let's roll.
All right, good pick. I think they'll be in the mix. They got a shot. Sha'Carri Richardson right now, I see minus 167 at one book. She's a little higher at other spots. But you can kind of tell it's a trap, guys, because there's an odds boost here. Sha'Carri Richardson and Noah Lyles both to win gold medals, plus 400. It's kind of like, why are they giving that as the boost? Why don't you just boost her?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm reading between the boosts. They're trying to rope me in because, Noah Lyles not going to win. She will, but he won't. That's what the
scam
is.
My golf boost, they always look great, and then there's always one thing that something goes wrong. I'm with you.
A good one, Dave, and Cam. And the tennis starts on the weekend. Iga Swiatek is the woman's favorite. She's minus 188 to win, but this is at Roland Garros on clay. She's won the last 3 French Opens, and she's won 4 of the last 5 French Opens. And this is at the same site as the French Open at Roland Garros. Swiatek wins the women's gold medal.